Hello everybody, and welcome to the online edition of the 2020 Dallas Bachata Fusion Festival. My name is Jeffery Michael.
And I'm Marina, and we're coming to you from San Francisco, California. We are so excited to be a part of this amazing online event that is 100% completely free. It runs the entire weekend long, and we have an amazing lineup of artists and performers and DJs and workshops and so much more.
And first and foremost, we'd love to thank Jorge Elizondo, the promoter, made all of this possible for you guys. 100% free, fabulous, one of the forefathers of the bachata scene. If you ever get a chance to go to any of his events, we highly encourage you. One-of-a-kind events, some of the best events in the world. And don't forget, 2021, Dallas Bachata Fusion Festival. We'll be there, we'll be teaching. We can't wait to see you guys. So with that, we're going to start our class. We're going to be teaching you a Sensual Bachata Master Series class. And we're going to go from here to our workshop. So guys, let's get started, alright? So alright guys, again, thank you for taking our class. And we only have an hour, and for what we want to teach, it's going to go by quick. So we're going to jump right into it and give you a quick breakdown of what we're doing. To start,
we have a mini syllabus available for you to download. It's going to go over everything that we talk about in the class. So later, after the lesson, you can go check it out and review everything that we covered.
Yes, please. Download it. You don't need it right now, but it's a really good way to remember and have an outline of what we're going to talk about. And it will accompany what we give you wonderfully, all right? So, to go along with that, let's start to go over what we're going to teach today. Of course, we're going to have some body work, right? And we're going to do some footwork, and we're going to have a pattern. But this is not a footwork, body work pattern class. What we're going to do today is it's a little something different than that, a little something more than that. What we have to go with our Sensual Bachata Master Series is we've developed a complete Bachata Central system, which consists of 8 core movements that work like building blocks to make up most of what bachata is for partner, leader, performance, solo. It will cover all the shapes and flow, and we also have an exercise-based system, just as you would in ballet or a sport, that cuts your learning time in half. Alright, dancers, so with that being said, we want to give you a little preview of where all this that we're about to work you through goes, because there's a lot of fundamentals, and it's easy for especially advanced dancers to kind of get bored with that, but that's the last thing you should do, alright? You should be sticking to the fundamentals, and I want to show you how the system that we have built and that we're talking about stacks up to end result your social dancing or performance, right? So we'll give you a little taste, and then we'll start all the isolations and the body work, and then into the pattern, all right? So here's a preview of the work we're going to end up doing, building up to. We're going to go basic 1, 2, 3. We go over 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Teacup drop 1, release 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if we have enough time, 1, 2, 3, 4. Open up, 5, 6, double comb, 7, 8. Here's your 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bring her over in the hug. 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2. Release 3, 4. Bring back 5, 6. Over 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Alright guys, so let's get down to doing some actual physical work now and dig into it, alright? So for this first part, we're just going to do a warm-up. For the warm-up, just face us. You can use this as a mirror. We're not going to turn around for it. We'll do that for the pattern and everything. But for here, you can just use to mirror us. It's just the warm-up, alright? So for a beginning, we're going to go over into our left hip, and we're just going to pronounce it out. Now going back to that contra motion, you want to push over, bend your legs a little, keep soft, squeeze out into the hip a little, but using the lower block against the upper block, contract through that torso or that midsection or the abs for the midsection and level that out, right? So your shoulders are pulling down and pulling straighter. So you should have a nice squeeze, not too much a mobile squeeze, but something that has some tension you can work with. And then we just switch over through the thighs, through the knees, back to the other side, and we just pronounce the other hip again, squeezing and countering with the upper body. And then we flow them back into your left side. On 1, we flow over 2, everybody. We flow over 3, we flow over 4. And we just repeat it again, guys. We flow over 1, just squeeze, we flow over 2, we flow over 3, we flow over 4, and a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now think of, dancers call this imagery, that we use our imagination to see shapes or ideas, and we kind of let that inform our work, and it adds a depth to it. It lets you get out of the room. I always say, especially to my performance team, don't ever be in the room, right? You want to get out of the room. So when I'm using this imagery, it helps to have like an idea, a three-dimensional shape that we can look at. So I imagine that the dancer is in the middle, so if her spine is here, and this makes up the shape she's about to do, just a simple circle, but maybe not so simple, right? So with the basic, we're on these axes on the outside, and we're dancing back and forth using tension. Well, now to start the circle, we want to get into this cross pattern or this forward and back axis, right? So where we were on the sides, we're now going to go into the front and back. When we do that, we could just thrust our body forward and not think about it too much and again glaze over it. But for what we want to do is we want to use that body against itself again. So we're going to lean by pushing our glutes up and pulling our ab floor up and crunching our lower abs. And we're going to crunch down with our shoulders, right? So you should feel like you're trying to pronounce the middle of your back, push right through so it protrudes to the furthest point. All right? And as we squeeze a little, you can feel it squeeze. We're going to go back into the back, and we're going to push back and push our butt out, push our shoulders back as if we're trying to touch the upper part of our shoulders to the lower part of our back or the top of our butt. Right? And then we're going to crunch again, down in. You should feel the stretch in your fronts of your thighs, and go back and go down, guys, just warming up and also looking to perfect the shape, and back and go down and back, and with counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, just a warm up, don't cheat on it, 2, 3, 4. Now to make the circle, let's start drawing that shape and let's start hitting each one of those points. So we go over to the left, we come forward, we go over to the right and come back, we go over and crunch and over and back and over and crunch and over and back and over and crunch and over and back. A little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So guys, now let's start to look at shapes and what shaping means and how that goes into tracking. And we'll start from where we had left off with the crunch and how that turns into waves, and we'll look at a couple of the main waves that we use in Sensual Bachata in a different way, I think, than you might have been taught before. All right. So if you've taken ballet or if you've taken modern or many forms of dance, you'll get into this warm-up of we contract and expand and contract and expand. Well, for us, what we're calling that, they're called C's and D's because the contract looks like a C and the expansion looks like a D. They're also just called contract and expand, right? For us, we're going to call it position 1 or shape 1 of the core and position 2. So when we crunch into position 1, we're again tucking those glutes under, and we stay off of our left leg for now, just as the exercise, and we get into our right? You should feel when you crunch down through this middle section, an amazing amount of strain on your leg. In fact, the strength is what you're trying to build. The strength and the flexibility are going to let you do this shape at a much larger, amount than you're going to need it. And when you have that, you have more than you need. Everything becomes effortless, which leads to being able to be graceful because you don't have to think about it. You could just execute by feeling, right? Or inspiration from the music. So as we squeeze down, you want to feel that strain and you want to feel that weight and you want to try to keep strengthening that. So as we come through that, we're going to pop back from position 1 into position 2. All right? And back down into 1 and back down into 2. Now we're going to go down into 1, and if you want to see the exercise-based angle of it, you can lean back a little bit, and now without moving your shoulders, you want to pop your butt out and pop this up. And if you haven't done it before, your legs should be shaking right now. All right? When you pop this up, it's going to make you want to stand up because it's hard. And our body's just going to kick against it. All right? But your goal, if you're looking in a mirror, is that you want to pop back and keep your body here and push up. And you'll feel that thing kick. All right? And back and up and back and up and back and up. Now, I'm not going to do the other side because I want to start pushing into the work. But you get the idea. And it should be sore. You eat, rest, come back stronger, more ability. So let's look at the body weight now. What makes up a body weight? So there's 2 elements to it. The first is that we are moving between the contracted and the expanded position, right? But the second is what makes shaping happen. And you have to imagine, like again, use your imagery, draw a grid on her body. And if you look down the center line of her body, as she's contracting and expanding, she's kind of just going on each side of that imaginary graph line. Huh? But to make a body wave, that's just a pulse or a kick. You'll see that in African dancing hip hop, salsa, everywhere, right? So when you're shaping, you've got to manipulate the body on each side of this imaginary equator, right? So as we go with our body here, we want to take that imaginary line and kind of push our pelvis in front of it and lean back with our chest behind it. All right? And then we're going to do the opposite when we kick into the wave, which is the transition part of the wave, is that we're going to pop into position 2 and we're going to switch those sections, box 1 and box 2, to each side of the line. All right? When we come back, we're coming back to the position number 1. We're going to be, again, switching or oscillating besides that line. And then when we come over here, we're popping out on the other side of the line. Now the beauty or the flow of this is how we do that. There's thousands of waves. Just go watch someone do hip hop and you'll see that the wave can start at a circle, it can reverse, there's all kinds of, but it's being manipulated through the space with some aspect of this contraction, expansion, and which side of these lines am I on? So as you get going, guys, you're going to have your right leg forward. You want to take this back and contract and be in the right leg. All right? In your left leg. And then you're going to push forward as if there's an imaginary hoop here and you're threading your body, serving your body with the lower body, serving your upper body through that hoop into your other leg, and then pop into position number 2. All right? Now, arc back as if you're coming off of a wall and flow back and go back into your heel and pop, big strain. And we're doing this big just as an exercise into position 1. So from the back leg, 1, come back through, 2, come back forward, 1, go back, 2, come back, 1, and 2, and go 1 and 2. All right, now the other side. We're going to come back 1, go forward 2, come back 1, go forward 2, come back 1, go forward 2, come back 1, go forward 2. All right? So remember, again, just like the circles, this is a very important thing to just get so natural you don't have to think about it at all. So to reverse that, this is our forward wave, where this kind of flows and starts. It starts in the ground. Everything starts in the ground. You can see that every movement starts in the bottom of your feet. But like we serve this through the hoop with our lower body, it looks to the audience especially, or to someone who's watching, that it's coming from the top, ventriculating down into the bottom, right? So for the reverse, we're going to kick it from the bottom up, come out of position 1 into position 2, and pull back, which is a much harder, into position 1 again. All right? So we push up, roll, pull, and fold, push up, roll, pull, and fold, push up, roll, pull, position 2, and position 1, push up, position 2, pull, position 1. Other side. We're going to position 1, push up, fold, back into 1, push, 2, always going in the front leg, 1, 2, and back, 1, 2. Very good, guys, very good. All right, now this makes up for our waves, and when I'm doing the wave, I'm feeling the basic, man. So when I go into the wave, I feel the 1, 2, 3, 4. I feel the rhythm of the basic still going through me. It's what links us together and gives us a common groove, like a clock, to connect and ride on. I'm not just sitting here on one leg doing it in the air. I'm switching the weight and feeling the rhythm of the music. I mean, you can make it look like you're doing that, but you want to get control of something and understand it before you start breaking it. As an advanced dancer, you can break all the rules. That's kind of the idea. So when we're dancing, you won't see this always being so big, right? It'll happen a lot more right in here and tighter, right? Maybe if it's something that's more grand or dramatic, you'll see her lace through it that big. But that's kind of why we go back and train all these muscles, so that if you get something like that, you're able to have that level of experience, right? Because hopefully that's what everyone's looking for, to get that much juice out of your dancing. So for a while, that's all it was. I remember when Sensual started, when we all started doing it, that it was just kind of the front body wave. And then, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, 4, we started breaking that plane into the side waves, right? So when you do the side wave, you're making your body, we call them carousels, you're making it look like it goes this way, and then breaking it down and breaking it up. So for just the hip part of the circle part of it, you want to break from that, that plane up top, where again we call it tracking, right? And flow, or shape flow, is that we're taking the circle that we were drawing here and we're breaking it up here to the side, right? So where we were drawing the waves right here, we're popping it up and we're drawing them flat so you can see them. So as we go over, we're going to take the same positions, man, the same positions, and we're going to go into our hip right here, right? And we're going to push over, and when we come over, we pull up our abs just a little bit, like we're taking our crotch over a pole or something, like we're lifting it up over something, and you'll see that lift, all right? And then you're going to drop that down into the side. I'm still kind of paying attention to my knees. Dancers do things that aren't good for your joints, but I'm not necessarily just going to throw my knees over the edge of my toes. I'm going to be in my left hip and pick up and go over to the side. And now when I come here, I'm going to go into a light position number 2, where I sit down and arch. So you see when I'm sitting, it has a good form and technique. It's going to add to the effect. I don't want to just be like in one position doing it. I'm working all those positions. It makes it look much better, right? So we're going to go over again. We pick up and over. We go over to the other side. Come down and stick that butt out and get a little arch and get that isometric tension on. And then come to the other side. And we come right back up and squeeze that lower ab floor. And drop it over. Go out into that butt a little. Come back over, up, and go over, down, back up, over, and down. And let it flow a little. And 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, now the other side. We're going to go over. All right, pick that up and bring it over. Drop over into your left hip. Crunch down, bend your knees, arch your back. Squeeze it together, head and tail connection, and come up the other side. Squeeze the lower ab floor. Go over into the right side. Drop. Head and tail connection. Come back up. Over. Position 1. Basic side. Position 2 arched. Expansion, come up in the other side. And 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Very nice. All right, so we looked at how this carousels or drops with the hip over the top, right? So now what we want to do is change that, just like we changed position 1 and 2 here, into the side wave. So as we drop this, your head over, boom, that's going to be our first hit. All right? From there I'm going to raise my left shoulder up. All right? So it starts with the head and up, and then I'm going to slide my rib cage or my torso over into that basic position and switch into my outside leg here. All right? So I'm again just manipulating a more dramatic form of the basic. I'm just sliding my rib cage over with a rib cage slide and getting to that basic, but leaned over a little and shaped a little differently. So guys, here we go again. The head drops to the right, boom, all right, and then we're going to bring the left shoulder up, and we're going to drop this over, boom, and we're going to bring this over, bop, and get that stretch there and get into the leg. All right, from there I'm going to drop down, get all my weight in that leg, and like a pendulum I'm going to swing that hip through, and now come back and swing that back up and roll up and back out of it, reversing each step down. So we drop our head, raise our shoulder, reverse that, drop the shoulder and squeeze, bring this through, swinging it, swing it back up and toss it up and go back through the steps to the top. All right, so it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. Head, shoulder, collapse to the side, take all that weight, again strengthening the body, letting the body break through. Swing that hip over, come back up and over and out the top. All right, so down 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Back, up, and out. A little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Other side. We're going to drop our head to the side. We're going to bring our shoulder up. We're going to flow over and collapse and even out those shoulders. We're going to take all the weight into that outside leg and swing it through. We're going to bring that back up and bring it up and over and back where we came from. All right, a little bit faster, speed up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're out again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Very nice, guys. Very nice. All right, guys. So now we're going to look at a little bit of a footwork pattern or a flow pattern. that will, again, like we're doing this, semi-progressive, that we're looking at a system of very simple but fundamental movements that build something up that you can rely on and go back to perfect, and it'll give you everything as a follower or a lead. So like that, we're going to look at this little footwork flow pattern that is exactly the pattern we showed you earlier that we're going to do after this. So now we're going to turn around, which is a little more traditional than you've seen before, and we're going to work out this pattern together, starting with our basic going to the left. I fully understand there's different timings, and if I'm dancing traditional, I dance those different timings. But for this, we're going to go on a conventional. One goes to the left for the leader, right for the follower, and vice versa. On the 5, we go the opposite way. So we're going to start our basic, guys. All right, 5, 6, 7. We take the basic over. 1, 2, 3, touch. 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, touch. 5, 6, 7. So we're going to take half of a basic. All right. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, touch. We're going to sling the hip outside for this backwards booty roll. Now, as the follower does, she's going to do it bigger. And as the leader, I'm going to keep it kind of tighter and a little bit different. But one of the things that I want to point out, and this is super crucial, these little tiny details, they're not tiny. For following and leading, the move doesn't start like most moves. It doesn't start on the outside. Where it starts is in an undulation. Circles, very big, outside of the body. Undulations, tight, in the middle, originating much more from the center. All right? So in music, it's called a pickup note. So it's a pickup movement where we pick up and 1 and 8. We want to jump to these things to lead from one idea and transition smoothly into the other. Okay? So as we go over, before we shove it out into that right hip, I want you to think of that little bit of contraction that comes here, because I'm going to lead that. You're going to feel that pull forward. And this is going to contract a little, and as the leader, I got to know what she's doing and be able to counter that, so I can't just sit there pulling. I know I feel the end, all right? So we contract on the end, a little position 1, just a little more condensed, and then we sling it around. So try not just to dry sling it. We call it a shotgun lead or follow, right? You want to have that end, that pickup movement. So as we go over, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, touch, and here's where the lead will start, so the follow reacts. And then we start to hit the idea. 5, 6, 7, 8. And now while I was doing that circle, I was switching my legs, switching my weight from the ball of my feet back and forth. Because in my mind, basic is the counter most important thing, the groove of the dance. So I'm going back with this right leg, like I was about to touch again, all right? So we go over 5, 6, 7. We go 1, 2, 3, touch. And now I'm going to bring this end in. You can see the leg moving. We go 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'm going to bend my right knee and take energy. And from that, I'm going to push up and push my shoulder up. All right? Right to there. So let's go again. 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, touch. And 5, 6, 7, 8, and now the side wave. We're going to drop 1, 2, 3, 4. I swing back 5, 6, 7, 8. Just like that. All right. Again, one more time. Shoulder up. Weight on your left leg. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just like that. From the top, guys. 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now you can see our flow is coming this way. Right? So we're going to use that one more rep, and we're going to show you what you're going to use that flow and that energy for. Okay, so from the top, 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So all right, so as we come over, guys, from here, we're going to be rolling the neck back, over and back and around to come through. All right, and let's look at that real quick. As we talked about earlier, you could really say that all movement starts or originates from the earth or the ground or the bottom of your feet. And what we talk about is that the movement stacks. A movement stacks, and if you want to see where the movement is being shown, you want to trace the body down to see where it originates from, because it's very seldomly coming from the thing that the audience or your partner or you might see, right? So when the neck is floating around, what you'll often see in the club is for the follower will be throwing her head forward and back leading with the head and letting it get ahead of the body and shoving her head around and getting, so you even see people self-dipping these days, which is very confusing. That you don't want to get in the head and throw it around. You want to, for one, where the head connects to the spine, it's flowing but it's not in use. The main place that it's oscillating from or spinning from is the base of the neck, all right? It's coming from down in here. It's not coming from here, all right? And now the power that's giving that its ability to flow around is coming from down in here. It's not coming from here, or worse, from here. So when we use these positions, these undulations from this 1, 2, and 3, right? We let that kind of whip the head around. We don't throw the actual skull around, right? So when this starts to dip and she leans over, you want to feel that eardrop. And now to get this to flow, what you want to do is come down into the body and contract that side, go into position number 2, roll that around, let the body lead it around, let the head kind of flow with just enough tension to let it flow ahead and isolate the head, and then let this whip up and back into position. Now, when I do it, I don't do it nearly as good as she does. I don't do it a lot. I look like a guy doing it, right? Or a leader doing it. So when it drops into the body, into the back, and around, and let the head trail. Let the head trail around, and then let it flow back in, because you need that relaxation. You want just enough relaxation to get it to float, but you don't want so much where you might injure yourself. You want to keep a little bit of a leash on it, right? So as we get back into the partner, into the solo work, into full work, and we come up to this side, we're going to drop this head over on one and instantly feel body. And now you won't see it because the dancer kind of hides it, but you're going to flow into that position 2, feeling the head flow in the back, get the body ahead of it, and then as we hit this shoulder, we're going to pivot on the right, and we're going to sling that head through. All right? So, again, this comes down into the right leg, and we swing over here into the hip. Now this comes up 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to drop into the body 1. We take this around 2. We let the head flow 3, 4. Pivot the right leg. And it comes through 5, 6, 7, 8, down, and then back up 1, 2, 3, 4, and back over 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, let's go again through it. We bend our leg. This is from the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, fall, body, 1, 2, 3, 4, come through, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. From the leg, up, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, crunch, forward wave, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, let's try it from the top. Here we go, basic. 5, 6, 7, one complete basic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Half a basic. 1, 2, 3. Touch undulation and 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, huh? Yeah. All right, from the top, guys, here we go. Let's do it a little bit faster, all right? Basic, 5, 6, 7, one complete basic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, half a basic. 1, 2, undulate, and 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again. 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3 complete basic, 5, 6, half a basic, 1, 2, 3 undulate, and 5, 6, 7 pick up, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A little faster. 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, full basic, 5, 6, half a basic, 1, 2, 3, go around, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time, and then we'll go to music. All right, here we go. 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, full basic, 5, 6, 7, half a basic, 2, 3, around, 5, 6, 7, up, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, guys, let's go to music. Full bass. Here we go. And one more bass. Listen to the music, right? Top of the count. Here we go, guys. Drop it. Half a bass. Circle. Right, left, right. Push. Drop. Get. Take your time. Turn. Take our time. Drop. Up. Turn. Watch. Right. Outside turn. Basic. Half a basic. Turn it. Right and left. Push. Take our time, pivot. 1, up, turn. Half a basic, here we go. Hips, undulate. Push. Back and out. Tilt. Take your time. Push up, turn. Hips, right away. Ah, got it. Push. Full bass. Half. Circle. Basic, turn it around, ah! basic. Half a basic. Around. Push. Alright, very nice guys. Let's go ahead and start the partner work. Very good guys, alright, let's look at the partner work. Alright? So, all that build up, shapes, flow, building blocks, to get you through training, to go to the social dance floor or the stage and have a good time, right? So, leader follower. Here we go, we have to put it together, alright? Let's start to look at a couple things. One, frame, alright? Could be in totally open, right? Could be in closed, and be in, oh my god, that's really close, alright? So we're going to be in, oh my god, that's really close. I'm looking for connection points out of my lead. I'm looking for ways into her instrument so that I can connect, send signals. So I can talk into her, music talks into me, I talk into her, and she's like the light that expresses everything out. Frame, picture, alright? She's the thing I'm showing off. We use all these little mechanics to get it done. So with my hand, I'm going to come in and use my forearm. This is kind of like my shaping hand. I'm going to roll through different, it's going to roam, it's going to give me different connection points. You've got kind of regions, followers in your body. I'm going to get different results if I connect here, or if I connect here, or if I connect here. It gives me different sections of that hard bony structure we talked about, right? And that gets me different results. So as I bring this over, I connect with my forearm, and this is kind of a roamer. For now I'm going to be right here in the middle, drop it a little bit. Now my other hand, I could be connecting in very close position, in a central position like this for close work, or I could cloak this over. Now I've got an up, and I can roam for a down, right? Because I'm looking to get every possible way into her instrument to send her angles and information, right? So as this comes up, I have that bottom. Sometimes I'll just be here. Sometimes I'll drop this over. It kind of squeezes that arm, and it lets me drop to get that angle, that up and down. Alright? So, as I am, sorry it's hot here guys, it's like 115 in the house right now. We're having a heat wave here in California, so if we look a little shiny, it's because we are baking right now, alright? So, from right here, the last thing, just as if it was merengue. Merengue is the same thing. I'm using my leg to get shapes out of the leg, to have connection. I don't have my leg all the way up her crotch. I'm using just, depending on our height, the tip of my knee as a rocker in between her knees or her thighs, right? So as I'm in close, my leg is moving back and forth, touching from side to side, all right? So we get this basic to start out, all right? We're going to go 5, 6, 7 in. 1, 2, 3, touch. Now I'm going to close in and get a little closer to start this 5, 6, 7. When I do, I'm going to probably even the count before. Sometimes I'll use a 360 as a mechanic. I want to stifle or smother this side-to-side flow. I kind of want to get it a little bit more in place because the work is going to be a little more in place. So I don't want to come out of some side-to-side movement necessarily, for this example at least, and then start dropping all these flowy shapes. Because they're, although we go back and forth to feel the basic, they're a little more stationary, right? A little bit, depending. For this body work it is, right? So I'm going to go basic 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. I'm probably already smothering that movement. Then I'm going to go 5, 6, 7. Now I'm going to start this circle. To start this circle, what I'm not going to do is grab on her leg and pull her forward and get her out. There's a place for that, but it doesn't usually look good. I try to almost never do that. And a tendency I see again in the States is the follower is actually locked onto the leg or the leader, and they're doing this, and that's like, you never want to do that. It doesn't work. It feels really bad. It's weird, and it just doesn't work, to reiterate that. So what you want to do is, I don't have really an angle with my lower body to pull her into me if I don't use my hands. I can't just hip her over. Like, I can get the right with just the leg, the left, I can hip it forward, but I can't get that her going forward, backwards motion, because I have nothing to grab. I'll just disconnect. So I've got to kind of use my hands to play some games, or I've got to go to this if I'm doing something a little more dramatic, but I want to hide that. I kind of hide that in an angle so you don't see it. I don't want it to be seen. So from this cloaked position, I'm going to drop my right lead down into the small of her back, and that's going to give me that and. When that happens, ladies, you don't want to look down with your head, associate your head in a negative way with your hips, and shove your pelvis forward. This thing needs to goo in an undulation from down here for the pickup movement, right? So don't just shove that forward, and don't just shove it to the side. Undulate that around. Now if it turns from an undulation, which is more centered, into a circle, which is more dramatic, where you get the booty out, it's real sexy, maybe you straighten the legs to get it even more like a pinup girl, maybe it's a little less, right? You want to come through the core and then push it out and around. Let it kind of, like you're throwing it like a roller coaster on a ride. When we're doing this, hold on, I have to. It's hot, man. It's hot. I want to think of shaping now and tracking, and here's what I mean by it. When we come around, her hips or her butt is going to come out there, right? So if this is a circle, you'll see she's coming through the front, which is right here, and around, which is right here on the circle, and then back and through. When you do that, followers, you don't want your face going into him. So you have to have what they have called head and tail connection, all right? So you have to use this and this, and if you decide to go straight, or go a little less straight, you still need to feel the legs. A lot of times when I'm training someone, I'll say go straight, because they're not using the hamstrings at all, and they're not associated with the head and tail. So even if this is bent a little, when this comes around, it has to be associated or tied in to the upper body, and then it goes around. You can't just, or it'll just be like a peacock. You just get thrown forward by your own mechanics, right? You need to take this, followers, around, and then tie the back of the thighs in the back, lower part of the butt, or the upper butt, lower back, into this, so that you literally feel the energy moving through your body. All right? Moving like a dance. It's dancing around your body. So as we come in, keep it down in the lats. Don't raise up into your traps. We go 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Now, and now there you want to start softening and start thinking about that curve, that 1 and 2. Now this goes into the upper back, push the legs back and associate your hamstrings with your upper back, bring your head up and bring it around. You could just throw it around, you're in the club, it's the next dance, throw it around, you're in the club, the next dance. All you're doing is grinding in biomechanics. Treat it like a solo dance first. Bring it around, let that body break, right? So, we come over, 5, 6, 7, and I bring my lead down, I kind of push this forward just a little into the pelvis to get that pelvis to come forward. And now with my right leg, leaders, look, push it over. Now I kind of push this forward and I drop my legs and I get her to go out a little more dramatic, maybe a little level change. All right, I can undulate this just around, just by stirring, using my leg as a pickup movement, or I could drop it and catch it. As you increase, you want to turn the body into like a rope with a knot on the end of it, so that I can just throw it around and cause effect. It just kind of floats around. And the more we understand these simple circles, simple shapes, fundamental shapes, and the more we're able to isolate and let that happen, the easier it goes, and then the easier the lead should be, because you're getting a lot with a good connection and a little bit of energy. All right? And it's felt. You know, it's felt out. Sensitive to it. So we go frame up basic, 1, 2, 3, touch. I slow it down, 5, 6, 7, touch. I bring this and 1, 2, 3, and now watch this push. The feet were changing, right? With my right arm, guys, I'm going to lift up on this shoulder and push from my left leg as the leader into my right. Her right leg, lift her up and over. That's where that transition happens, all right? So we go basic, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, touch. And as a reminder, if you're at home alone, just go back to doing your part of the shape as if it's a solo dance, which is what I do all the time, especially for performance. All right? And here we go, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7. Now here's your 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There's that side wave. Now watch my right leg. I'm going to bring her over to lead her over, boom, I'm stretching her the other way. And now I kick that leg back up, letting a little tension stretch her back, and then I whip her back up. So this is why knowing how to do the movement yourself is so important, because look what's happening. We are countering with the mirror of the movement. Now imagine if I can't do these sideways, and I don't know how to do it. Look how connected I am to her body. So what am I doing? God, that's so, we don't want that, right? None of us want that. So as the leader, I need to learn the moves just as much as she does so that I can be flowing, and look how much better it looks, right? It looks so much better when we're together like that. So again, we go basic, guys. 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3. Tighten it up a little. 5, 6, 7, touch. Now, and coming out of that basic, the natural flow of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, pendulum 7, 8, and again. 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, touch. 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right? Let's go to quick music. Here we go. Basic, guys. Basic. Get used to the flow for a minute. Another basic. Here we go, on the top, a little closer. And 1, 5, 1. Right there, right? Don't worry about the timing yet. 1, 2, 3, basic. 1. And go. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're going to be able to be a little late there when we flow. It won't matter that we're not all the way there. Alright, we don't just step on it so hard. Again, basic. Just take it a little easy for this first part. Here we go. Right here. A little close. Watch the hand. Alright, one more time. 1, 5. Watch, yeah, I'm a little ways away. Bring her in. One more basic. Feeling that flow, the hand. Here we go. One more time, basic. One more basic. Here we go. Very nice, very nice. Next time. Okay. Part 1, we had basic, right? 1, 2, 3. I kind of smother it down. Get her in close. Drop that hand. Boom. Framed up. Again, framed up. Same ballet. Framed up. Lats down. Chest out. Right? I come in. I close it down. Forward. Forward. Right? Forward. Forward. Right? I pull that into my leg. Twist my leg around. Drop it. Around. And look at the connection. Rolling my connection down. Picking that up. Drop the side wave. Take it out. Bring it back up. Now watch this. I'm going to stabilize that leg extended and drop that head. Alright? Here we are into the head wrap. So I've kind of taken my hand and I've rolled it and dropped it. Alright? Now from here, I'm going to cradle her. See how the wrist comes around? I want to take care of her back, watch her neck, and I've got to start thinking about this left hand because I'm going to use it to tunnel and to guide with a neck wrap. So I bring this down, it's taking care of her back. You need to, she's doing it a little bit, hold on a second. She's doing it a little bigger, you know, like maybe we're doing more flowing. She just a little bit less. Push this out right here. You don't need to lean this so far, you're going to start getting a dip. You don't need that much. Just pull this back. This controls this. Now for the lead, I drop, I want to see the ear go. Right? And then I roll, I leaned her back, I'm catching her. I pick up that hand and roll, that gives me the head, right? Now, I can let this hand escape. I'm going to show you in a minute. I just wanted to show you that isolated. I'm going to bring this around and turn her. Right? All I did was connection points. I've got this connection point right here, and this. And I just pivot my body and legs to pivot hers. I create some frame, I get some tension in, and I pivot her in the middle of the shape. And this is called shaping or tracking, when we're changing the direction of something. So we come through this hip out, circle, and then right here, when I get here, I track it. I change that axis point, like I said in the beginning with the hoops, where I was here. In my mind, I'm flipping this up. And now I got this way. Where do I do it? Through this axis point right here. Alright, so because it shares the same axis point, see, I can go like this, it doesn't change in the space. So when I bring this around here, to change that plane from parallel to the ground to perpendicular to the ground, I flip on that axis in my mind, and then I can get her to change and go down there. I'm looking for that. So as we come around here, parallel, bam! And now watch, right here on the axis point, boom, I can catch it. It'll feel smoother. Drop this down, take it out, bring it back up, and now I start. Look at the frame come out. Boom! Catch her carriage, support her weight, then I release my arm. Because a lot of times, and she might be holding on big time, if I start here, it's going to be, look, I'm already kind of trapped, I'm late. I'm going to have to try to maybe thread out. We're actually sweaty as hell right now, so it's easier to get out, but I might have to come through here, and sometimes I'll lace, but look at this, it's just a lot more problems. So as I get here, look at what I'm already doing. Getting my elbow above hers, alright? Getting my elbow above hers. So I take this here, I'm already looking right here, getting my elbow out. Now I'm still supporting, I still got some support here, I roll it around, now watch. Touching, placing, not pushing, staying in connection, becoming the follower, following her around, pushing open with the right, watch, pushing open, using the natural flow to change and track that move and redirect that shape. And now I want position 2, right? So we went down, came up, bow, start that roll, support, release the hand, around. Now right when it's there, I've got to turn open by connecting here, backbone, right? I cup, I fit in here. Doesn't matter how her body is built, she still has it. I cup in like Spider-Man and push and turn, cupping the lat, push and turn, right? So we go down, boom, come up, bow, roll, push and turn, not here, I'm just connecting there, push and turn, right? Again, down, up, drop, around, push, I'm kind of bending to catch, now, hold this forward, look what I didn't have to control, her pelvis. I should not have to grab all of the connection points if we're understanding head and tail relationship. Head and tail means that when this curves, look what I get. Lower out for. When it pops, look what I get. I don't have to do both at the same time because we have head and tail relationship. It's a kind of a dance rule for this dance. Around for a couple dances. Through, I went underneath, turn, now watch. Forward, I got the position once I'm here, and forwards. Once you feel this happen, you know where you're at. Back, down, I use the leg a little there. Use the leg to come up and bring her out. Here we go again, basic 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, touch, 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, touch, 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, guys. Hey, guys, you did great. You did great. All right. Thank you so much for taking time out of your lives to take our class and to attend this festival. We really appreciate it. It's been great teaching you. Hope you got something out of it. Please remember, download the syllabus. We'll put that link up here again. And also we'll add to remember to take the Q&A. We're going to start that right after this, immediately after this. So we'll have that link below us also. So, Jeffery Michael
Marina Gee.
And thank you. It was a pleasure having you guys. See you again soon.